I'm really surprised this game hasn't blown up or doesn't have at least 100,000 active users. This is one of those games where it's late night and you don't know what you want to play, so you just load into this, do a Hazard 3 or medium difficulty mission, and just chop it up while lackadaisically going through all the levels. It's really fun to upgrade characters. I believe you can upgrade them up to 12 times, and then from there you're essentially prestiging them, where you just increase the level like 1 through 10 rather than going through bronze, silver, so on and so forth. This game has a lot to offer between side missions, main objectives. There's always a holiday update. My personal favorite being the Halloween one. You get some really cool masks for your character and just overall coins to upgrade. Every mission seems to be different too, which I like. You know, there are some caves you get which are total bullshit, and you know, you're 20 minutes in and you realize it may not be worth my time, and you just glitch out of it. This is one of the good caves though, especially a good mission. Extract Morkite. Simply just finding the Morkite, that right there is what I'm looking at. And you gotta get 225 of them. Notice the side mission, we're not close to it, and we're not gonna get close to it at all. If you see fossils as your side mission, wrap it up because you're not finding them. I think I've completed that side mission maybe twice. It's total bullshit. I don't know where they are or where they're hidden. They're really hard to find, and I just overall ignore it. There's also a lot of classes to choose from, 4 exactly, and with a lot of customization and 3 weapons per secondary and primary. Here I'm using the gunner, which I actually find to be the least fun of all the characters. I was just super weapon pilled, and I thought, I mean, gunner's in the name, so he's got to have sick weapons. And granted, he does, but little mobility, and in these caves, mobility goes a long way. The gun I'm using here, the Hurricane Guided Rocket System, it's in the name. You shoot a missile and you can guide it through your cursor, which is really awesome because it allows for more precise accuracy. The camo I'm using for it is the Lithophage Outbreak. If you know, you know. That was a piece of shit side mission when they brought it out. That thing was a total nuisance. You had to use a vacuum and a foamer to be able to kill it. It was not worth it whatsoever. The only redeeming quality of the gunner is the fact that he has a shield. 3 of them, I believe, which come in very clutch when the whole team's down and you just need a quick revive. Especially in the data core missions when, you know, you have a giant boss staring you down in the face and he's just launching missiles at you. This game's a lot of grinding, so you have to be careful with the grind. I mean, if you play too much in one day, you might get sick of it and not want to touch it, which I go through quite frequently. It's kind of like that Minecraft phase. You get a 1 week Deep Rock phase where you're playing it for 4 hours straight, and the next thing you know, you wait a month after till you want to play again. The one thing I also like about this game are the pickaxes. It's the small things that count, and the fact that I can change the colors of them is nice. But when you have a whole mission just dedicated to getting a pickaxe, you're not really wanting to play it. You could get desperate sometimes and missions won't be available just because you have no characters to prestige or there's just no events going on. So it is something to do, but it's just not worth the reward. This game is constantly hitting us with live updates. There is a season and a battle pass. Luckily, the battle pass is not paid for whatsoever. It's simply just playing the game. There's also a skill tree through the battle pass where you can unlock different gun camos and cosmetics, which I like a lot because cosmetics will go a long way. You see a guy, random guy in your lobby, and he's wearing an astronaut helmet, you immediately want that. Sometimes you get lucky and there are lost cages in the game or lost backpacks where you're guaranteed a cosmetic. But I'm going to be honest, me and my friends have realized you're going to get a beard 9 times out of 10. And when I'm already wearing a fucking wolf mask that covers my entire face, a beard is a giant nothing burger that literally does not affect my character whatsoever. At the end of every level, you're following your mule, which is kind of like your backpack where you collect all your materials. And it's super easy to do because, as you can see, he's dropping these green lights with directional paths, which you could follow pretty easily. This goofball right here is actually on top of the mule. We call her Molly, and he's able to just ride her the entire way. There's actually a secret achievement, ride her for, I think, 20 seconds, so that's easy XP right there. The one thing that is a little annoying, though, is the extraction time. Sometimes it can get really close, and it's completely out of your hands. Here we're over 100 meters away, so I think it gets down to 2 minutes when we are able to escape. which is kind of really close, especially if there are enemies spawn camping it, which at that point you're pretty fucked. Now you have to be careful when it comes towards getting back to the drop pod at the end of the game. The engineer class specifically has a C4, which is a one-shot, and the game actually released statistics that the #1 cause of death besides fall damage is friendly fire, and those C4s are GG machines, man. If you don't be careful and watch it spawn trap, dude just might fully take you out of the game. There's two reasons for that. Either by getting you down, the drop pod will automatically leave without you, which cuts your XP by half for the mission, which hurts. And sometimes if you're just being an asshole in the mission, like you were taking forever and not really contributing, I've been known to throw a C4 sometimes just to let a guy know that shit's not going to run in my lobby and I will not allow it. I don't do it a lot though. Maybe I'll do the casual shot in the face just to wake him up, let him know, I don't play that shit. I'm a big dog in my lobby. But if it gets to that point, the C4 will be enacted and you will be immediately downed. It's kind of funny when you do it, but when it happens to you, it's the worst fucking thing ever. I can't stand it. I get trapped here a little bit. It is kind of tough because you clip into the dirt sometimes, so you just have to mine out of it. When you're the driller, though, that's absolutely no problem. You'll see that later, that it completely just wipes through all the dirt and makes it really easy. I'd say driller is by far the most overpowered class of them all, just because you could completely ignore the drop pod or molly that I'm following and just make a direct path and mine straight to it. Sometimes you get lucky and molly will follow you through that path, which cuts the time drastically. Here, this is me using the driller, and I'm in a Hazard 5 mission with different attributes for the level that makes it harder. And I spawn in, 2 people are already dead. I know this is how it's going. I already wanted to record gameplay for this, but I knew we were cooked. Here, there's a lot of poison enemies, which it's in the name what they do, and there's a lot going on. Sometimes it can be confusing what to shoot, and your HUD does get a little distracted, but I knew here there was no chance. I just want to let you guys know that this game is not as boring as you think it is. The last video, there wasn't much going on, but when you increase the difficulty, it definitely gets pretty crazy. Luckily, there are a lot of bailout abilities, one being Iron Will, where when you get down, you get a 10-second grace period where you take no damage. This is absolutely a last-ditch effort where your only option is to just revive somebody, get down right after, and then hope they revive you back. Here, this guy is the Prestige 1000 and he gets downed, so you already know what's gonna happen here. I fucking dimed this Glyphid, and I'm not doing any damage, so I'm like, oh yeah, I'm cooked. Turn to my left to see my boys running in place getting some cardio, and this mission's over. Doesn't happen frequently, but when it does, it really fucking sucks. I joined a much better lobby the next game. They're almost done, and there's a lot going on. Really easy side mission here, where I just shoot orange glowing barnacles that are in the roof. They're really easy to find, unlike the fossil mission, which I can't fucking stand. Like right here, it's right in front of my face. One thing that can be annoying though is salvaging the mules. Sometimes they're not highlighted on the map, only the legs to build the parts are, so it can take a while. I don't understand why people don't automatically hold X to start the exit process, just because it makes the game go way by quicker. If you saw that tower, you have a good eye. That thing, I nicknamed the GG machine, because the minute you start it, you're fucked and you're not going to beat it. You're going to see how chaotic it gets, and it's a complete waste of my fucking time whenever I do it, and I know we lost the mission the minute we start it. So cut to 2 minutes later, it starts, and right away you can tell it's complete bullshit. I immediately Iron Will, and I'm trying to hold this pad because the only way to do damage to it is to charge this pad to 100, and then one of its 3 weapons are able to be shot at, which is a complete pain in the ass. Not to mention the top weapon launches C4 robots, which are a complete one-shot. Already 75% of the team is down, now 100, and it's a matter of using your Iron Wills like I said, and trying to revive everyone. It's a big revive game where if you get lucky, maybe you destroy one weapon, but it's not gonna happen. This is definitely the least scaled of the side missions. I think it's kind of ridiculous just how much is going on. I don't understand how they want you to beat it. Maybe if you're running 4 gunners where you all place down shields, that would probably be the easiest. but that takes a lot of coordination from the randoms, and as long as you have maybe one other person with you playing, then you could do it. But the odds of that are very, very slim because it's still a very, very hard side mission. Obviously, we're all gonna die here and the mission just ends, which is crazy because we already got all the barnacles and completed the main objective, so we could have just mosily walked away, gotten our XP, and have been done. This is by far the most successful of the drop pod missions. I once again have to get the mules and all their legs, and we're already started on the uplink process, meaning the game's over. This is one of those artificial game lengtheners where you have to sit in a zone and wait for it to charge whilst you do nothing. A lot of enemies don't spawn because this is Hazard 3, but they do spawn the Praetorian, which is a big boss right here, which I absolutely drill with my axe. Sometimes there's a really dork strategy that I employ sometimes, where you can just drill that block all the way down underground, cover it up with some platforms, and no enemies can hit you. This is a total rat move, and I only use it sometimes when a mission's really hard, but it does make it very easy, at the cost of having fun and that difficulty. But when you really just need to get going, you're sick and tired of the mission because it's been 20 minutes, I'm doing it every day of the week. Now we have a second uplink, which are all about done. This also does require coordination because the more of your teammates are in the circle, the faster it goes. And that can be annoying because a lot of people are fucking stupid and don't want to sit in there and beat it, which is really annoying, but that's only some of the time. Like I said, this is a good lobby here where people just want to get going. You can see the side mission collect gunk seeds wasn't done. That one's super annoying. You have to shoot giant balls, from the ceiling, and then bring them to the drop pod and collect them, which is a lot of moving back and forth and a lot of bullshit parts that aren't worth your time at all. I mean, most side missions give you maybe 5,000 coins at the most, which can't even buy me an upgrade. Here, the pod is powering up, and the only thing to worry about is whether or not I'm throwing a C4 at my teammates and completely GG the mission. Which, of course, I'm not going to do because I'm a good guy. But it goes to show you can never be too careful in these lobbies. I mean, there's some absolute gremlins that are level 20 that have nothing to lose. And there's no way you can report people in this game because it's actually a pretty positive community where leave no dwarf behind, dwarf being our characters, is the motto. So, you don't expect it too much. The mission's completed here, and you'll see the level scaling. I mean, I'm believed to be the most overpowered character in this. All the way at the left, level 130. I did spend a lot of time over the summer grinding this to beat my friend in level. Sorry, buddy, but you know who you are, and you know I have more level than you, and you'll never be as good as me. I think my character looks pretty dope, and we're going to show you what you can do with all the coins you can get. Because once you upgrade and unlock all of the guns, there isn't too much that's necessarily meant to be spent on. So I'm going to go to the Forge Station, which allows you to have mods for your guns, which is super cool. Most of them are bullshit to where you'll have less ammo capacity or a lower fire rate. Sometimes you do get lucky and you find a unicorn of a forge where you're able to completely upgrade it. Most of the forges have an unlock for every single gun. It's hard to differentiate which guns are which because I don't memorize them off how they look. I memorize them off the name, so just showing an outline of the gun doesn't do much for me. Here I decide just to upgrade the driller. I like the flamethrower, but it can be weak at times, and it does get annoying when I'm constantly reloading. So I'll eat up some fire speed just so I can be able to reload faster. And once you forge, you're able to also unlock further forges based on how many times you do it. And now I'm feeling pretty good. They're trying to start the mission, but I want to get drunk. It's 10 a.m. in the morning and I know I can take it. Blackout Lager, it's in the name. I turn on the music because I'm trying to vibe. Immediately they leave that drop pod. They know what time it is. The minute they heard the alcohol, everyone runs to the bar. I got the jukebox going and I'm feeling really good. Let me get some alcohol in me. Blackout Stout, by far the best drink in the game. I start dancing, I start getting my groove on. There's a lot of beers to choose from, which is really cool, and some of them unlock mini games, which most people don't know about. There's a prop hunt one, which is super fun, and me and my friends have wasted at least 2 hours just trying to find one of us being a fucking wrench on the table. Here I do get a little pissed off because I don't think they let me buy another drink. I think they cut me off. At this point, I'm good to go. I could easily drive. He won't even let me tip, and I'm looking for my keys to get the fuck out of here to go to the next bar that'll serve me. Luckily, I'm a gremlin, though, and someone left their blackouts down on the table, so I'm immediately drinking that. I don't give a shit. If you bought a beer and don't drink it within 5 seconds, it's going to me. I'm a borderline alcoholic in this game, and Daddy needs his juice. I'm grateful to the bartender because he didn't cut off all of us, so we're still able to get a buzz going. Like I said, at this point, I'm not drunk at all. I'm good to drive. It's a little hard to pick up the beer because I can't see anything, so I'm letting the bartender pick up the trash for me. He's paid well anyways. This is one of the Arctic beers, where it actually just freezes you mid-game, which is super awesome. There's also some beers which totally spawn you out of the main mission, or rather the main HUD, which is a giant spaceship. So it's cool to see all the extra layers they've added to this game. You don't necessarily see them. Here I pass out. I'm ready for the next day, and the game's over. See ya.